I'd like to welcome you to WCPT AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
And a happy Sunday fun day to everybody out there. Scott Duff here along with Ellen Miller.
Good morning, Scott.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
Girl, I'm doing all right. Girl, it has been...
I'm okay.
It has been a big week for...
Yeah. I actually have had a hard time pronouncing it a couple of times.
Bro, it's acetaminophen. Come on.
Acetaminophen.
It's been a big week for us.
If you're banning it, you should at least know how to say it.
I know, right? It's been a big week for cinnamon.
Whatever it's called.
Tylenol. Look, Jimmy Kimmel came
my
back.
Yes.
But not everywhere, but then everywhere.
Yes.
Dear Leader Ding Dong blithered at the United Nations. And just a reminder, a broken escalator is stairs.
Called stairs.
It's
you walk
stairs.
Up them.
You can walk up them. And, of course, the Retribution Tour revs up with the indictment of James Comey. And VP Kamala Harris made her first interview this week with Rachel. Promoted book 107 days. So it's been a fun week. We've got a fun show.
Yes, we do.
For you. I'm really excited because we've got out-of-town guests. We got company.
We do.
We got company. John Parker and Jim Pounds, the amazing team behind The Gaily Show, which airs here daily, right here on WCPT, weekdays from 5 to 6 a.m. They are going to be joining us in studio this hour, so we're going to be extra gay.
Extra, yeah. We're doubling down on our gay.
We're super duper gay. Here we are. And, of course, we need, in times like this, we need our escape and we need our culture. So Catch Me If You Can, Marriott Theater's current offering, is a musical comedy based on the true story of a young man who posed as an airline pilot, a lawyer, a doctor, and then escaped police custody all before he turned 22. We are going to chat with rising Broadway star J.J. Neiman later on in the show, and comedian Jen Kober. I love her.
Yeah,
love her. Yep. She returns to Zanies for 2 shows this week, one out in Rosemont on October 1st, and then she'll be in the city at Old Town on October 2nd. We're going to catch up with her in the second hour. But, of course, we would love to hear from you, and the Credo mobile phone and text line is open at 773-763-9278. Again, that number is 773-763-9278. And WCPT listeners can now get 25% off for 2 years at Credo Mobile with the code WCPT25. Credo Mobile, a progressive phone company that is better for all people and the planet. Visit credomobile.com. And, of course, you can listen to us right here on WCPT 820 AM on TuneIn, heartlandsignal.com, or watch the live video stream on the WCPT Facebook page or the Heartland Signal YouTube page. How are you holding up?
It's been hard, It's been a hard week. I think one of the, Jimmy coming back he just was spot on. He was pitch perfect.
Pitch perfect.
I as you know, I've been a big fan since day one. Kathy used to refer to him as my boyfriend.
Your boyfriend.
Yeah. But anyway, I had one friend that didn't like it because he teared up and he was emotional, and I was like, that's Jimmy. You don't know Jimmy. I mean, when he talks, that's the Italian in him, I think.
Yeah.
But I wish more people could say what he said the way he said it. Just basically talking about free speech in our country and trying to preserve the things that we have taken for granted for so many years, like having a comedian be able to tell a joke. So I was buoyed by that show on Tuesday night. We were like chanting and yelling and clapping and yes, thank you, Jimmy. But then I hear this United Nations speech, which broke my heart for the world. Like, this is how you are on the world stage to world leaders. I mean, what a freaking moron.
Yeah.
What a horrible, cruel, hateful way to address the world. And I'm just, every day I'm more mortified. I don't know why. I always feel like, how can I be more mortified by his actions. But trying to keep positive. Had some happy things happen. Well, when we get into all the meat of the rest of the stuff.
Good.
I did have a great experience at Mr. Wolf at Steppenwolf.
Okay.
Currently playing.
It's to kick off, isn't it? This is our 50th anniversary.
The 50th anniversary of Steppenwolf Theater. Kate Arrington, Emil Maureen Hansen, Tim Hopper, and Carolyn Neff and Namir Smallwood, all exceptional. 85 minutes. There's a scene near the beginning that I wished I was high for. Okay. But you'll know what I mean if you go see it. It is a visual, just a visual experience that I have not seen in a theater. Just something that they do to show her going from one world to another. It's the story of a young girl who's basically kidnapped and then goes home after many, 5 years of being in captivity. 10 years, whatever it is. But anyway, I highly recommend it. It's a great show. Mr. Wolf, Steppenwolf.
Look, all of those ensemble members that you were mentioning right there, they are fantastic.
They all are, and they bring it, and you're just, you're at the edge of your seat the whole show. So highly recommend Mr. Wolf at Steppenwolf. Boy, we're just so lucky here. I saw Ashland Avenue the week before, which I liked. A little long, needs a haircut at 2 minutes and 40, 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's a little bit, but that's
when it becomes it's a piece.
It's a piece.
It's a piece.
It's a piece.
It is a work.
I recommend it. I think it's a good night at the theater, and also for 2 hours and 40 minutes, it did fly by.
All right,
Francis Guinan is, he's just a gem. He's
that guy.
He's just
that guy.
Yeah, he's an amazing actor.
He's so good. I would watch him read the phone book.
Yeah, he's that kind of a guy. So a lot of good things going on. I had a gig you asked me about before the show.
Girl, look, I try to be very sparingly on social media these days, and I was working on something, and so I clicked over to Facebook, on my computer, not on my phone. Mm-hmm. And then there's a picture of you looking like the Beatles or U2 on the rooftop of a building. I'm like, yes, come on, Ellen Miller, let's do it.
What a magical... We've played this gig before, but no one has ever taken a little video of us while we're performing, and we can't take it of us when we're playing. So we played a private gig, Nelson Street Revival, on Thursday night for a company called Ziegler. The guy that runs the company is a big music fan and a fan of our band, and just a beautiful night, a beautiful setting. Looking at that backdrop, I've watched that video. It's just like a 40-minute clip.
It's a 40-second clip.
Yeah, 40-second clip. Sorry. And I just keep watching it because it's magical.
So cool.
Yeah,
it is cool. So cool. I'm like, oh my gosh, you had to have felt like a rock star.
I felt good up there.
Yeah. It was so beautiful.
It was a beautiful night. So, just feeling blessed about having those kinds of opportunities, and got to the Cub game yesterday and watched my neighborhood ball team clinch home field advantage. I'll be going to some playoff games this week.
All right.
We were able to buy tickets as neighbors, so that's happening, and just kind of holding on for dear life, Scott.
Well, don't let go.
How about you,
don't
my
let
friend?
go.
How are you doing?
Girl, I had a birthday celebration this week.
Not yours. But
not mine, no, but I went for a birthday with a friend of mine. We went to Spaghetti, so delicious pizza.
That's held on for years over not far from your house.
It's not too far. But didn't it just win some sort of best pizza place in the world?
There's so many pizza awards. I try to catch up and keep up with all of them.
Yeah, so just had a nice little birthday celebration, although I was just so tired. Work this week has been oof.
Yeah, you have to do a lot of heavy lifting.
A lot of heavy lifting and everything, and boy, oh boy, is my... I'm sore.
I was at a birthday party Monday on your street, too, at Artifact.
Do what? I'm sorry.
Artifact.
Oh, yeah.
My friend Maria Costas. She's done Outspoken. She's done Voice Box. She does spoken word stuff. And I met a couple people that were on our show. We started talking, and then we realized. Wait a second.
You've been on the show before.
You've been on the show. Both of them.
Love it. Archie Jamjon, yeah.
Archie filled in.
Archie is filled in. Yeah.
with Ken.
With Ken.
And his partner, I forgot his name. He did the documentary about housing crisis in Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
So it's funny because I started meeting him, and he's telling me about this, and I'm like,
Wait, I've
Gosh,
seen
this
I
sounds
understand.
really familiar.
Right.
And then as time went on, and we bonded with them. So it was a really fun party over there.
Yeah.
Lots of our people were there, and great thing, 70th birthday party on a Monday night, all happening on It's right by your house.
There we are. And then this week, Windy City Times turned 40. Was it
the 25th?
Wednesday night?
Was it Wednesday night or Thursday? I think it was the night of our gig.
Oh, it was Thursday night. Yeah, it was Thursday night. There was a big event at Sidetrack.
Did you go?
It was packed. Yes, we went, and it was really great to be around community.
Yes,
all of the people that spoke. I know Jake Wittich, who is the managing editor. He's a contributor to the Gailey Show, so we get to chat with those guys about Jake. They spoke very, very. Everything was very, very heartfelt, and they were the main focus was the importance of storytelling, the importance of telling our stories, of covering our lives in the LGBTQ plus community. But it's a hard time for any sort of media right now, especially a newspaper. Of course, Windy City Times has stopped going to print and is now available only digitally.
Right.
But they're still out there and they're still doing things. And
they're doing the good work.
They're doing the great work. Let me tell you, they've improved their website, thankfully. Girl, no offense, but like I used to work for Windy City Times, and that website was just a mess.
It was hard to
navigate, but now it is super duper easy to navigate. There's so many different newsletters that are going out. They've got they're bringing they brought back Black Lines and La Vida to focus on the Black queer community, the Latinx queer community. You can subscribe to all of these newsletters, which really helps them, and they're free of charge. There's also the Chicago Social Butterflies. So if you are a social butterfly like we are over here, you can find out all the events that are going on over there. But what was really, really important to me for that evening, again, was just the community. It was great. Like Anna Deshawn hosted it. She is taking over queer media as we know it. Like she is an incredible human being who just keeps moving forward. She hosted the evening. Tracy Baim, who was one of the co-founders of Windy City Times, she spoke very, very eloquently. They were giving, you could buy these thumb drives that had all of the archives.
Oh, nice.
Of there. So you would have a piece of Chicago queer history
that's great.
With you. Terry Klinsky, who was the associate managing editor, who's been there for 30 years. Just like she was there. It was great. It was kind of like old home week for me too, to run into people that I used to work with. And Amy Matheny, she was there. She used to be the VP of sales there and for the Chicago Reader. And she was just really, really clear about the work that Windy City Times does and the work that we can do in our own lives. Because right now, everything just seems so overwhelming. I mean, so overwhelming that sometimes it's like, well, you don't have to, as an individual, you do not have to change the world. You can just be a change agent for the people in your world, like right at the beginning, to really sit down and to listen and to share your story, to share, the story of your kids, it really is just about changing and affecting the lives of people in your immediate circles and in your community. And that's what we've been saying, ever since this whole debacle of a regime took over. It's like it can seem very overwhelming. Like, what do we do? You see all this footage that's happening now with the ICE agents.
Oh, it's just, I was telling Devin and Scott before the show, a friend of mine, Dave Miller, he's a music guy. He's a wonderful man. I know him through, gigs and he's active on Facebook, but he went to Broadview last night and was filming when they just opened the gates, came out and started beating up people, tear gassing them, mace, horrible. And you hear it and it's just terrifying. These are people we know that are just exercising their right to assemble and peacefully protest. This is what authoritarianism looks like, and it's It's right before our eyes, and it is scaring the living daylights out of me.
Oh, yeah. What's happening, and what happened last week, too, with that woman who was put into a chokehold after being, shot with little tear gas pellets.
A tamale lady, the Home Depot, she sells over 20 years, a single mom with 2 kids that she supports, one with autism, in her van, on the phone, pulled her out of her van and threw her into an ICE detention facility. Mm-hmm. It's just, I can't believe it's happening in our country, and it's happening in our city.
It's happening in our city.
And they are relishing it. They are goons. They are oath keepers and Proud Boys that have masks and weapons, and it's like some bad sci-fi movie.
It is. And it really is. It's the masks that really get me. I'm like, what are you so afraid of?
Yeah. No name tags, the facial recognition. And I have another friend that was on a picture that went viral. I think I mentioned with an American flag in tear. He's a Marine. He's an ex-Marine. Tear gas all around him, holding up an American flag. Former Marine. This is how he's treated. It's just.
It's a lot. It's a lot that's going on. Yeah,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. So I think what we can do, because again, you can't change everything, and if that sort of, talk about profiles and courage, people just going to stand outside the ice.
I know. I'm like, I wish I had the nerve to go do it, but
that is a huge thing.
Yeah,
and,
it is.
But that's not everybody's MO.
No.
So what you can do again is to have conversations within your family and your friends and your neighbors. You can show up for one another, for your community. Like, don't think quite so big. Think small.
That's right.
Just go down and start with just your community, just your neighborhood.
Because they're getting different information than what's really happening. If they are on, the side of the regime, they're not seeing what we're seeing. They're not seeing the reality, and we have to do our best to just encourage them to seek the truth.
Yeah. And again, because I tend to go out too much and scan out too much and look at the big picture. I'm like, it's too much. Like, no, bring it in. What can we do? What can we do here, within our community? And it's always a good reminder to go and to be a good neighbor. Just be a good neighbor. If you see something, say something. I'm sure my older person is Andre Vasquez. He sends out a weekly newsletter with little action items to help you out. I'm sure all the other aldermen are doing that as well.
Yeah, mine does. Wagas PAC sends a weekly newsletter.
So so those become engaged in your community.
Yeah, read them because there's a lot of information you need to hear. These are your elected leaders. Your your taxes go to paying these leaders in the city of Chicago. Please heed their words.
But yeah, because also, I don't know about, your alderman, but, my alderman also offers resources of like, okay, do you want to get training on how to help out with resisting the immigration, resisting ICE. And there are things that you can do.
Yeah, they
offer you resources. So that is, again, as opposed to just sitting and scrolling.
And in a fetal position.
If you just keep up and you do something and just start in your community. Just start in your community. If going to these big protests that happen downtown or going to protest an ICE facility is too daunting for you, just start in your community.
Letter writing. There's postcards that, Kathy's writing 200 postcards somebody dropped off at the house. The No Kings March is the 18th. I think it's going to be huge. And, I think we need to really make a statement like we've never made before on that day.
Yep, so. We most certainly do. We have a statement. But we have a statement that means that we probably should go to a break.
Yep.
But before we do that, this part of Out Chicago is brought to you by Team Hochberg. If you are purchasing a new home or refinancing your existing home, call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Tim called to consolidate his debt and was so happy with David's advice, he left this 5-star Google review. David personally called me regarding my refinance inquiry. After discussing my situation, David determined I'd be better served securing a HELOC instead of refinancing. David then spent considerable time providing valuable guidance and referred me to the KCT Credit Union for a HELOC. David's reputation on radio for genuinely helping others, even when there's no direct benefit to him, is well-deserved, and I experienced this firsthand. Thank you, David, for your time and integrity. David thanks Tim for his amazing review and strongly encourages everyone to read Tim Hochberg's nearly 600 five-star Google reviews. David helped Tim and thousands of WCPT listeners, but he can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit the website you know and love, 56david.com. That's 855-563-2843 or 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, NMLS 1124061. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we got the guys from The Gailey Show in studio, so sticking around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
I'm Jay Nair with Tricone Chicago. Welcome back to Out Chicago on WCPT.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller, rolling along on this beautiful Sunday. And our Sunday just got a little bit more beautiful. Thanks to our guests who have entered here. We are thrilled to have John Parker and Jim Pounds, the amazing team behind The Gailey Show, which airs daily right here on WCPT, weekdays from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Guys, welcome.
Thank you. You should do like 90s film trailers. You got the voice for it.
In a world.
He's an actor.
In a world. Sounds like there we How are you guys doing? How's your time in Chicago?
It is so great to finally be here, like in studio. Thank you so much for having us. You know, we always mention you, and we do fun things, you know, on the show to try to, bring in our Chicago listeners every morning, 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
But, it's so nice to be here and to see you in person.
Oh, same here.
Yeah,
Thank you for having us.
I want to know, what have y'all been doing when you've been in town?
About your trip.
Well,
why did you, was it come just specifically to be like, hey, we're going to
we wanted to come and visit y'all.
Oh, good.
That was number one
That's great.
on the trip. We wanted to swing through Galena as well, because we've been hearing about it up in the cities, and we're like, okay, we got to stop by.
Did you go? So you went to Galena?
Yeah.
The birthplace of Ulysses S. Grant.
Yes.
Oh, the birthplace.
Is, I believe, was it birthplace or just his home?
Well, they gave him a house, I think, for his...
All right, well, we'll just say it was the birthplace. There's something about Ulysses S. Grant. He just kind of hung out there. But it's so cute, the Galena. So cute.
It is. But I have a gift. I come bearing gifts.
What?
Or at least one gift. We're constantly doing giveaways on the show, but we're live in Minneapolis, and so Chicago folks can't call into them.
Yeah.
And so I actually have a all-access digital pass to the Flip the Script Film Festival, which opens October 3rd. It's the only LGBTQ film festival in Minnesota. And there are 4 feature films, 32 short films, and the digital pass gives you access to watch them all from home from October 3rd through October 11th. I'm so happy to finally be able to give something to Chicago gays.
And our festival, our gay festival, Reeling, is just ending this.
It's wrapping up today.
Today. So, yeah. So
nice.
Segue right into another one.
Nice.
Did you see Plainclothes?
No.
It premiered here. We had the director on. Oh my God, it's so good.
Is it? I was on the jury for one of the.
Were you?
Yeah, so I saw 5, and then we saw 6. So I saw 6. That was pretty good.
Nice.
You're good.
Yeah.
That's great.
There were some good films.
Features or some shorts?
Yeah, they're all features that I saw. Yeah. Yeah, it was really.
And you didn't see Plainclothes?
No.
Oh, that's weird.
That wasn't in my. In my 5
all right,
I had to watch.
There we go.
Well, I know the Chicago premiere date. It's October. I think it's Friday at the Magic House. We still don't have a Minneapolis one yet, but Plainclothes we gave it 4.5 stars.
Oh, all right. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now, fancy. So what's the name of the film festival again? The
Flip the Script Film Festival.
All right. So if you want digital access to the Flip the Script Film Festival, give us a call at 773-763-9278. That again, is the Credo mobile phone line and text line if you want to text in a question. You can call at 773-763-9278. Caller number 3 will get the digital pass for the entire festival starting October 3rd
through the 11th.
There we are. All right, cool. 773-763-9278. So what's been going on with you? What's new with the show?
Wow. Okay, so last we talked was in April?
Yeah, April.
Was it really that long ago? It felt like it was just the other day.
When I saw it was April, I felt the same way. I'm like, April?
Really?
Where did the summer and spring go? But
Holy smokes. Okay.
I know. So we are very grateful to have Jake Wittig. I heard you were talking about him in the previous segment. He comes on every Thursday. Every other Thursday at 5:30 a.m. here in Chicago, and he's been doing really great reporting for us, particularly around legislative candidates and where they stand and where the status of the races are. But obviously, there's a lot of great coverage that he provides for us. There is a new chief White House correspondent for the Washington Blade who is coming in. We're going to have him start hopefully in October. The previous White House correspondent who was on our show on a biweekly basis as well is now at the Capitol Forum. So we're hoping to snag him.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Contributor, because that's like a whole fancy paid subscription. So I'm like, hey, Christopher, can you come back on our show?
Right.
It's free access. But we also set up a partnership with Dallas Voice. So their managing editor, Tammy Nash, comes on a bi-weekly basis. We got a Dr. Samuel Hunicke. He is a fascism expert at George Mason University. So he comes on a monthly basis and tries to help me understand what the F is happening.
So we all need to tune in on that one.
And the F is the fascism in there. What the
there we go. That's great. What the fascism, or what the fire truck. What the fire truck is.
What the fire truck.
That's the only word that you can say that begins with F and ends with truck that you can say on the radio now.
Exactly. And then on AM 950, once a month on the Saturdays, we have a Saturday broadcast, which is sort of like a best of. But once a month, we have some friends from the Queer Spirit podcast who do a lot of like self-care exercises and spirituality type stuff.
That's
and so you can tune in through the TuneIn app or just go to am950radio.com and you can listen to that.
Very nice.
Lots of partnerships. We're trying to be since we're the only daily one that is, so far as we're aware of, we're trying to be very good about creating partnerships and bringing folks on and sharing their good reporting and all of that. So that's why you need to tune in Monday through Friday.
To that end, can I add something?
Please.
California and Oregon and Washington and Hawaii have figured something out. And I'd like to propose that if our governors in Illinois and Minnesota can't figure something out, that the gays should start some sort of Midwest
coalition.
Mm-hmm. I was hoping they would do it first, but if not, let's do it
they may.
ourselves.
I mean, you've got, we got Tim and JB. So, I mean, who knows what's going on?
Two sensible states in the Midwest. That's ban you talking about things people could do. I don't know exactly how to start that, but I'm proposing it.
Well, JB, you've heard that. Hello, I know you're listening. You're a regular listener to our show. I don't know, but I mean, it seems like he's got some big, lofty ambitions. Is what it seems like. I mean, I'm sure. Yeah. As you all experience.
He is a warrior for the LGBTQ community.
100%.
And so we feel very blessed and lucky to have him.
And he feels authentic about it.
He is.
At least from our perch in Minneapolis. He feels a little more authentic than certain other governors.
He is authentic because when we had all the gubernatorial candidates on the show when he was running, we liked the first one we had, we liked the second one we had, and then we had him on. And when he told his story of his mother taking him as a child to the Castro in San Francisco as a little boy,
I didn't know the story.
Yeah, we didn't either.
Yeah.
And honey, this is the gay community fighting for their rights. When he told that story, Scott and I were like, "You're the guy."
Yeah,
you're the guy because it's just what you said. Just you said, John, he is authentic when it comes to his support of the community. And when you're sitting next to someone and hear him tell a story like that, it is hard. And
there were so many people after the election that were like, "Ooh, maybe we shouldn't talk about them anymore." And Governor Pritzker was like, "No, we're talking." I really loved that from Minneapolis being like, "Okay, who's still standing up with us?"
Yeah.
And he was number one.
No, Governor Pritzker has been from the jump. I mean, he performed one of the first gay marriages at his house.
Yeah.
before it was even really legal. You know, like when he was in law school at Northwestern, for somebody who comes from
a lot of money,
a rather privileged background,
beyond a lot of money,
he is surprisingly down to earth and in touch with what folks really need. I love him.
Yeah, well, he was my least favorite going into both Scott and I. Well, we liked Daniel Bisk, who's now the mayor of Evanston. We liked him. Then Chris Kennedy came in, and I liked him for most, although I didn't like his position on marijuana, but that's neither here nor there. And then the one that we liked the least, that we, initially liked, we were like, oh my God, he's the guy.
He's the guy.
Do you all do official endorsements on the show?
No. I mean,
no, we're
not really.
Official, but
look, here's the thing: we're the artsy fartsy, and we tend to be a little bit more fartsy than artsy, So I don't think it's me. I'm definitely fartsy, but we don't really. Yeah. I don't know how much weight it's going to carry.
We sort of did endorse him a little bit because we did not hide how we felt. How we felt about his authenticity.
It's something that we're trying to figure out on the show because we're going to start bringing in. We have a Minneapolis mayoral race coming up here, so we're going to start bringing in the candidates to the show to talk about their LGBTQ platforms and stuff like that. But we're also trying to figure out where do we how official are we? We're still figuring that out.
Well, we'll figure it out, and. Just endorse away. That's what I say.
Until they say stop.
Just enough. Enough with you two. So speaking of Minneapolis and the Twin Cities, how are things up there? It's been a rough go of things. Right after the horrible school shooting, we had Ellie Krug on the show, she's and it just happened. It was by happenstance. She is a trans woman who is also a radio host and podcast host and a speaker, and she was very vulnerable and being we're scared right now. So,
and the first trans person to ever argue a case in front of the Iowa Supreme Court.
Yes. Yes.
Legal app. And a brand new book.
And a brand new book. There we go. Let's plug that for Ellie. There we go. But so how are things within the LGBTQ community up in the Twin Cities?
This summer has been. I started in broadcasting, and so I've had to pull out a lot of breaking news. I don't know what it is about Wednesdays, but we have had every other Wednesday shooting right before we go on the air.
Oh my gosh.
And so it's I have a whole plan for the show, and then it's okay, toss that out. Now we're talking about another shooting, and actually there was another one before we got in today.
I just saw.
In a Mormon church in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're a blue state. We've been very at the forefront of providing LGBTQ rights, in our Human Rights Act in the 90s in Minnesota. So we're always seem to be on that leading edge of rights, but we're not immune. When you get out into greater Minnesota,
right.
There you're going to find the MAGA folks, and I think that they also, after the Annunciation shootings, they were very much on board with making it into a whole anti-trans situation, and that all the lefties are super violent, and Minneapolis is one of the worst cities in the world, and yada yada yada.
Yes, but is Minneapolis a hellhole? Because Chicago
is a hellhole.
We're a hellhole.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised. J.D. Vance was there after the Annunciation school shooting, and I just keep waiting for the hammer to drop that we're going to be the next city, because they didn't like us either on the campaign trail, and then they announced this weekend Portland, and I'm like, okay. I mean, not that I'm upset or anything, but
it's coming.
You'll get your chance.
It's coming. Don't worry about it.
It's weird. I'm what is I'm trying to figure out the plan here for all of this. I know we're all trying to figure out what's
one
the
democratic
plan.
city after the other.
Right. Yeah.
That's the only plan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but what is the word on the street from the queer leaders or just the queer community in general? How are folks holding up?
One thing that's happening. I mean, you're a trans refugee state. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So as are we. So one of the things we keep hearing is how many trans people are moving to the Twin Cities from Montana and Iowa and Texas and Florida, and I'm sure you're getting the same thing. So, so the real estate agents are thrilled.
Okay.
There's a sense that the real estate market is okay, but if you're dealing with the LGBT community, it's fantastic. So there's been an influx of people in the thousands, they believe, to the state.
Okay.
And that's an interesting dynamic, isn't it? I mean, it's
our hospitals have also been holding so far in providing
too.
trans health care.
Yeah,
so we haven't had a lot. And I want to be mindful. Jake Wittig knows the full facts of this, but he was on the show a couple weeks ago and talking about how there were certain Chicago hospitals that had stopped altogether for trans healthcare, and he was talking about how the reach of the federal government, where these hospital systems were like preemptively shutting down their trans healthcare. And so far in Minnesota, we haven't had that yet. We've had to do a lot of like our Outfront Minnesota, our legal political advocacy organization, has had to do a lot of training on just helping people understand the difference between what is an executive order and how does that impact state law. You know, so we've had to really kind of deal with that. And I think we're in this weird limbo when we talk to folks like at Gender Justice and Outfront Minnesota of it. We haven't felt the impacts because we have really robust state laws, and we still have, you know, Governor Walz and the mayors and all, you know, all the Democratic, you know, DFL, Democratic Farmer Laborers, our Democratic Party, have been on board, and they haven't shied away from the community. And so we're just sort of in this weird anxiety zone of, we know we've got this stuff, and we know we got political leaders that have our back. We have an amazing attorney general, but how far can the tentacles come in to the state?
Right.
You know, and that's the weird, ambiguous space that our leaders and our community is sort of operating in right now. Where we're like, we can go around sort of our day-to-day life and still be ourselves and live and love how we want to, and then we also know that it's just at the gates.
Looming.
Yep. Well, we got to stay Minnesota strong.
Yeah.
You know?
Chicago strong.
And stop, and maybe stop being so Minnesota nice. You know?
Exactly.
Hey, we need to take a break, but can you guys stick around?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, fantastic. All right, we got to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we are going to continue our little chat with John Parker and Jim Pounds, the brilliant minds behind The Gailey Show, which airs daily here on WCPT, 5 to 6 a.m. every weekday. So stick around. You listen to Out Chicago right here on WCPT, Heartland Signal.
I'm Honey West. Welcome to Out Chicago on WCPT.
And welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ellen Miller, rolling along with our special extended WCPT family.
John and Jim in the studio.
We've got John Parker and Jim Pounds, the guys behind The Gailey Show, which of course airs daily during the weeks. Weekday, that daily, not every day.
I've often imagined what Chicagoans thought back in whenever we went on the air at 5 o'clock in the morning when we showed up, you know, in their car with them on the way to work.
I love that.
Unexpectedly.
It'd be great. It's wonderful. Hello. Surprise.
The gays are here.
The gays are here, and we're not going shopping. Although I had to go shopping. I've got a wedding to go to next week.
A gay one or a straight one?
A straight one, but it's a weird one. It's in Portland, so I'm so excited to be going there. Like, great, let's
what timing? You can report to us.
I will do some live reporting from there. Here we are. Excellent. You know, here's the thing that I've been kind of going through. I know it should be like a network moment, like I'm mad as hell and I just can't take it anymore. Yep. But more and more, I feel kind of, and I know this is a total mixed metaphor, like Kathy Bates in Misery, when she's trying to explain, you know, like, she's watching Rocket Man, and Rocket Man they were sending him over a cliff, and they had the brakes, they messed up the steering, they welded him shut, and the car exploded as they went over the ledge. And then the next week she went back, and they showed the end of the clip, and just before the car went over the edge, Rocket Man jumped out of the car, and he was okay, and everybody cheered, and she stood up. Do you all have amnesia? This isn't fair. They cheated us. He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodie car. And that is kind of like where I am right now.
On the edge of madness?
On the edge of madness, but also just be like looking at people like, what did you think was going to be happening? As Governor Tim Walz said on the campaign trail, you don't make a playbook if you don't plan to use it. Yeah. You know, and that is the part that's been driving me.
Has anybody made like any blue hats that say Kamala was right about everything? I see him wearing that stupid red hat that says he was right about. I'm like, there needs to be a blue one, because literally everything that she said in that debate has happened.
Yes, everything has happened, and the thing that's been driving me crazy, and I would love to know, like, what is your little moment, your Kathy Bates, he didn't get out of the cock-a-doodie car moment. For me, I'm just like, I do not forever. It seems like forever. Going back to like Trump won. it was the biggest way that they love to own the libs was calling us sheeple. Like we are blindly following this administration or this leader and everything. And I'm like, but wait, the tables seem to have turned here. Yeah. The level of blind devotion to dear leader Ding Dong surpasses sheeple. And it's now moving into lemming territories. And we're just all going to be running over the cliff. Mm-hmm. It's like, how is this what you voted for?
Well, they claim they're such patriots. They're such, supporters of the military and the police and patriotic Americans, and there's nothing patriotic about an authoritarian regime that is taking hold in this country. I know,
and that's what makes me want to scream at them. I'm like, what are you thinking?
It? Are they just getting such different news from what their sources are that they are clueless? I mean, it is our job to continue to try and have them find the truth, because the truth is not on their side right now. It is. What they think is good is not good, right. is not patriotic. I was saying earlier, I have a friend who's an ex-Marine who was tear gassed carrying an American flag at the ICE protest facility earlier this week. Is that how they want veterans to be treated? I mean, they're going to find out if this government shutdown happens and they get their health care shut down when it comes to the Affordable Care Act and what they need. They're going to be hurting so bad, and it's sad that this is what it takes for people to learn a lesson, because we're all going to suffer.
Yeah, we were with Patty Vasquez on Friday, and she had an interesting thought, because I keep asking people who come on the show. I'm like, most political movements want to give things to their supporters,
right?
Yeah,
but yet here we seem to have a political movement that's like, take my health care.
Yes.
Take my food benefits. Take my money for my roads. Take my local hospital. Yeah. And not only will I'll vote for you again, I'll be grateful for it, and I will applaud you for it. And I'm like, has that ever happened before? And Patty was like, she's like, it's the cruelty. They give them cruelty. They give you hating the gays. They give you hating undocumented people. Yeah. And that's like dopamine to them. And then I have to go, how do we come back from that?
I know. This is what keeps me awake at night. How far are we going to the point where even if we do, we must prevail in the midterm elections, and it must be an overwhelming statement by both independents, Republicans, and Democrats in this country that it is wrong, and we have to fight for that. But how far are we going to be in a way that's going to be so difficult to come back?
Well, the worst of the bill that was the big horrible bill that was passed doesn't start until 2027.
Right after the midterm.
Really, a lot of the people that are going to be hurt aren't going to be hurt profoundly until January 1 of 2027.
Farmers right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like during, Hellscape 1.0, he ruined so many things about farming, like contracts and selling their
soybeans. They haven't sold a soybean to China.
Right. And so they had to get a bailout bill, a farmer bailout bill in the first one. They still voted for him.
Yeah.
And now they're dealing with no workers.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're dealing with they haven't sold any soybeans. A huge thing in Minnesota that we've been covering there. Yep. And it's like, but when you read the reporting from like AP News and The Guardian and Reuters and all of those farmers he took away our labor, and we haven't sold any soybeans, but he's looking out for us, and so we'll get a bill. And I'm like, have you all?
That's what I mean. It's like, what are you all doing? Because this is nothing but petty grievances from a thin-skinned, butthurt troglodyte, and it is just infuriating.
It is. How far off the cliff do we need to go?
Infuriating. I mean, attack on trans people for no reason other than peeing.
Cruelty.
Seeking revenge on perceived political enemies, censoring what can and cannot be said on network television, the dangerous misinformation about vaccines and healthcare, and acetaminophen.
If Biden had gone on here,
I know,
and said half of this,
I know.
Well,
we would have had 25th Amendment. We would have had impeachment hearings.
Such a double standard.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like I just don't understand. But it's like, to me, it seems like the Southern strategy blown up. It was a way of so the Southern strategy was a thing that Nixon used to go after poor Southern folks, poor white Southern folks, who basically was like, you know what, you might be poor, but at least you're white. And you are not, you are not like these poor black folks or poor fill in the blank. Right. And that is what it feels like they are doing, especially when it comes to LGBTQ folks, and particularly trans and gender nonconforming people. They think that they are trying to spread this lie that there is all of a sudden this everybody's trans. You're going to send your kid to school and they're going to come back trans.
Right.
Like it's ridiculous.
We did a joke when we went to Iceland. We were commenting about how in Iceland we went for Pride, and there were rainbow flags everywhere. And we said, amazingly, unlike the United States, none of these people turned trans, even though there were all these rainbow flags and everybody was happy about Pride. None of them turned into trans people.
No, it's really great. I've been reading books my entire life.
Yeah.
I ain't straight.
Oh.
You know, I read Romeo and Juliet. They made poor decisions in that book, that play. You know, I've read Of Mice and Men. There we are. Oh, but you know, I didn't kill my best friend after he accidentally murdered my coworker's wife. You know, like, I don't understand, like, gay people have been around forever. Trans people have been around forever. We are not, if there's more visibility, it's because there's been more safety and there's been more acceptance.
Right.
And there's, like you're saying, giving to people as opposed to taking from.
Right.
And that's the part that's, I'm like, I don't get it.
Anytime you're taking away more rights than giving more rights to people, it's just wrong.
Yep.
And I'm not quite sure now how to reconcile that also on our side when I see, and I've been pretty, and I know, okay, on our show, I've been going after Governor Newsom, and a lot of people do not like that I'm doing that. But I have to point out to folks, in 2015, California passed a law allowing trans athletes to compete in high school sports. Nothing. We were good because it was working fine.
Yeah.
And he became governor in 2019. We heard nothing from him. He did not campaign on this. We heard nothing from him about this. He's been governor since 2019, said nothing about trans athletes in sports. Suddenly in January, oh, this is unfair.
It's problematic. Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. You have been governor since 2019. And now you suddenly, because of the election, and and we get all of these, we've got Searchlight, which is a new think tank, and we have Third Way think tank saying, putting out a memo saying, you cannot say LGBTQIA plus anymore. That is alienating regular voters.
They did their focus groups, and they found out for some reason.
And so that's why I'm so, thank you, Governor Pritzker, because there's all of a sudden, there's all these centrists and people like Newsom that are suddenly, throwing us under the bus. And it's not, with Newsom, it's not only that, he sent his staffers to the Hill and said, in January, do not send us any more LGBTQ legislation. He axed all LGBTQ funding from his bill in May. The legislature had to add it back in at the end of May and June. And I'm like, what? This is what worries me right now, is that 86% of us voted for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz at exit polls, which was 20 points higher than for Biden in 2020. And yet we still have these folks that are like, well, we're here. We vote. We vote. We also have one of the most highest percentages of voting rates than any other demographic. And there, a lot of folks right now, too many in my opinion, are going, let's not talk about them anymore.
Well, I think,
and that scares me.
And I've heard Democrats say, we have to get away from the trans issue because that's what killed us. Because Elon Musk saw an Achilles heel, and he ran millions of dollars worth of ads in swing states that put the fear of God into people when it came to trans issues, and that's why a lot of them,
But does everybody in this room remember 2004, the gay marriage amendments? And the Democrats said, "Oh, we have to run away from gay marriage now because they ran the gay marriage thing." It seems like every single cycle,
that's where they decided to turn their back on.
Something to weaponize against us. It was DOMA in '96, gay marriage amendments, in 2004. It's like every cycle, the Republicans managed to find something, and the Democrats, instead of going, "No, this is the right thing to do. We're going to fight for it," they're like, "Oh, now we can't talk about this ever again," and it sets everything back for generations.
I know it's where we are,
and we keep falling for it every single time.
I know.
Well, but do you think that's, I think it also is partially, at least back in the 90s in 2004, it's like, well, at least they were talking about us, visibility was a huge issue within the 90s, at least they're talking about us, and at least they're saying the word gay, unlike Florida, where you can't say it, but there was something there, and I think it does feel a little like Stockholm Syndrome-y, of like, oh, okay, you're going to do that, okay, you're right, we shouldn't do that, but, but I think that is is why shows like The Gaily Show and, dare I say, Out Chicago are important so that we continue to have these conversations. We continue to keep spreading the word, you know, and about like, hey, just a reminder, your LGBTQ neighbors are your neighbors, and they are
they're people. They're human beings. They're lovely people
who contribute to society and culture and your community on a daily basis. So thank you guys for doing that up in the Twin Cities. Do you have anything that's coming up this week that listeners might want to be tuning into when they get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to listen right here at WCPT?
Well, I mean, I know for Minneapolis folks, we're covering the Mayor's Forum on Tuesday evening. But specifically, I don't have anything to preview. Specifically, I think we're going to have Tammy Nash from Dallas Voice on this week. But it feels like every day I sit down in the morning and I go through all the newspapers and I go through all of the queer publications. I'm like, okay, what are we having to flag today, right, and talk about for folks? So something that I do for our show is I've after 8.5 months now, 9 months. I'm tired of hearing folks saying the gays don't have anything to say to working class voters. And so something I want to be trying to do on the show is to begin to challenge that. Because I'm like, if we're here on a daily basis, how can we begin to show that Third Way and Searchlight and Senator Fetterman are wrong, that we do actually have a lot of things to say, that we are in these communities, we are working class voters, like we are.
Girl, I work at Trader Joe's,
right?
You know, there we are.
So how can we begin to push back on that narrative and say, you know, we're not some weird elites that are out of touch and have nothing to say and are a liability to the Democratic Party, that we are core to the Democratic Party and these issues.
Yes, and well, keep on spreading that message and spreading that issue.
Great to have
you can tune into The Gaily Show every weekday from 5 to 6 a.m. right here on WCPT Heartland Signal. John Parker, Jim Pounds, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And it's so great to finally meet you in person.
Yeah, I know.
It's wonderful.
Keep up the great work, guys.
We have got to take a quick break, and when we come back, it is the second hour about Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
The Family Meeting.
I heard someone say this week somewhere on television. The difference with white history is that white history has demonstrated that they looked at land and people as something to be conquered versus lived with or nurtured. You see that going on right now. Orange Menace in the White House. He doesn't see Gaza as an opportunity to create peace. He sees it as a place he can conquer and monetize.
Sundays 4 to 6 p.m., The Family Meeting.
The latest politics.
We both took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Global news.
I'd like to welcome you to WCPT AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
Welcome back to the second hour of Out Chicago. Scott Duff here along with Ellen Miller, rolling along.
So nice to have John and Jim with us.
I know, right? It was wonderful to finally meet them in person because we've chatted with them a couple of times.
Smart guys, good guys, doing a good job from Minneapolis on here at 5 a.m.
I know. Look, I'm telling you. Minnesota nice.
Yes.
There's
people are great.
And they got a good hot dish. I wish they brought hot dish.
Hot dish?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Hot dish. Yeah, it's a Minnesota thing. It's hot dish. It's basically a casserole with tater tots on top. Yeah.
My dad was born in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Oh, well, there we are. That's how it all became Minnesota nice.
That's right.
We're going to have a nice second hour. We've had some grumpiness, but now it's time to escape into some fun arts and culture. A little bit later on this hour, I'm so excited to have her back. We're going to be speaking with Jen Kober, comedian, storyteller, good old Southern gal.
Yes.
She's coming into Chicago for 2 shows at Zanies, one at Rosemont, one in Old Town. So super excited about that. And I am super excited for our next guest because Catch Me If You Can in Marriott Theater's current offering is a musical comedy based on the true story of a young man who posed as an airline pilot, a lawyer, a doctor, and then escaped police custody all before he turned 22. So joining us now is the star of Catch Me If You Can, rising Broadway star and social media sensation, JJ Neiman. JJ, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you for joining us. I know you've got a matinee today, so we really appreciate you taking time out.
Yes, of course. Yeah, we literally, our call time's in like 20, 25 minutes. So I'll be doing this interview as a nice little warm-up for the show.
There you go. There you go. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. You can do all of your tongue twisters while we're doing this. But first, congratulations. Your performance is just getting rave reviews. How is the show going?
Oh, thank you for saying that. The show has been great. I think the audiences have been really fun to see. I mean, the Marriott Theater obviously has a great clientele and subscriber base, and a ton of people in the Chicago area always come. But it's been really cool to see on the weekends especially so many kids, like all my castmates are saying more kids and teens and young adults than ever before are coming to the show, which is awesome. And some people have been, I mean, every show there's people who have driven in or flown in from Atlanta, Texas, New York, New Jersey, Minnesota, wherever. So it's been so cool to see people like traveling to see our show, and just all of the support and love has been really, really awesome.
Oh, come on now, JJ. That's amazing. Can you tell us a little bit more? I did a very succinct little briefing of what the show is about. Can you tell us a little bit more behind the true story of behind Catch Me If You Can?
Yes, of course. Yeah. So it's like you said, it's a story of this teenage con man, and I like to say it's a true-ish story because there are definitely embellishments and exaggerations. And when you put something on stage, there's you have to make dramatizations and take artistic liberties. So it is this kid who essentially runs away from home when his parents are getting a divorce, and he kind of finds his way he just stumbles into a lot of this stuff. And I think the interesting part is that he's really like a kid, so he doesn't understand the gravity of these crazy cons that he's pulling off. Like, he knows what he's doing is wrong, but it's kind of like a game to him, and he doesn't understand that there's real stakes to it until he meets his love interest and falls in love, and then is like, oh my God, how do I balance this life that I've been lying, but I have this actual love for someone, and I'm trying to make my life work. And it's really interesting to see the development and growth of these characters, and the FBI agent who has made it his mission to find this guy for years and is tracking him down for years. And it's a really fun cat and mouse story with all of the nods of the 1960s era. Our set is very Jetsons airport kind of vibe. And we have these awesome screen that is above our stage. That's a 360 circle. And the whole show is kind of this mod, 1960s comic book vibe, which really show you inside of this brain of this kid who grew up reading these comics, and he just is pretending he's living this crazy life, and it's all fake,
Yeah. And it sounds kind of like if The Fugitive and The Music Man had a baby, it would be Catch Me If You Can.
Yes. I like that.
So how did you prepare to play a con man? How did you prepare?
Well, I obviously did my research of the character and this guy, and watched the iconic movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks that the show is based off of. And I think I honestly really leaned into the kid aspect, because this guy is doing some bad things objectively, but I'm I have to make the audience root for him and empathize with him in a way that they're wait, why am I rooting for this guy to succeed when he's doing all these crappy things? So I think I really lean into the kid aspect and the youthfulness of it, but it's been really fun to play. There's one really fun scene where he's pretending to be a Secret Service agent to get out of his altercation with the FBI agent, and putting on some different voices and really utilizing, honestly, the clothes and the costume. That's one of the lyrics in the show, is that clothes make the man. And so it's whatever costume you're in, that's who you are, and that's what you're embodying. So So it's kind of been a fun journey to explore that.
And JJ, do you see him as a hero, an anti-hero, or a con man?
Oh, full anti-hero. Full anti-hero.
Yeah. Okay.
Because he did kind of redeem himself and end up setting a security company up, working with the FBI, and a lot of the ways that checks these days are all of the security checks on them to make sure that forgery is not happening with checks. Mm-hmm. A lot of that was designed by him because he knew the best how to forge these checks. So he worked with the FBI and all of these agencies to set it up. So, and then he paid back everything that he had stolen. So it is kind of like redeemable in the end.
Very redeemable. Very redemption for sure. And you know, what kind of psychology is behind somebody that does this kind of thing, would you say? What was going on in his head that made him want to do this?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
I think he was flying by the seat of his pants, honestly, and it just like is something like a tumbleweed that just like happens. Mm-hmm. And I think like, you know, I have to remove myself. It's been very vulnerable doing a show in the round where the audience, you can see every single person. They are so close to you. Mm-hmm. And I have to remind myself sometimes when the audience is reacting negatively to things, it's like, it's not me. It's not me. It's the character
right.
that they're... But sometimes I feel so attached to him that I'm like, wait, no, like, why aren't they buying this? Like, I'm this guy, you know, like it feels like you're attached to it in a way. So anyway, yeah. It's very interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's like with any role that you would have to take on. You have to understand, like, your character is the hero. Mm-hmm. No matter, like, your character is right. You have to understand their motivations, understand why they're doing this. You know, maybe it is just to seek out a cheap thrill or something, or maybe it's something a little bit more heavy. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like it's definitely been getting, like, again, your performance has been getting rave reviews across the board. The music score, like it's from the Mark Shaman, right? Yes. Yeah. Like fun, bouncy. Like it sounds like it's a fantastic time, and I'm sure also you were saying that people from all over the country were coming to see you because I bet you part of it's because you've got a pretty big following going on the social media, you know, and people are like, oh great, let's go check him out. You know, when you are an actor and you are a public person, I always find it so interesting, like, and a social media person, a content creator, how do you choose which content you want to put out there? I mean, my personal favorite of yours is you rating your performances by how sweaty they are.
Right, correct.
You know?
Well, you know, I'm thankful that I'm working with Marriott Theater. They have been so cool about embracing the social media aspect, and it makes me really happy to know, like, I understand that social media is a huge draw for, like, ticket sales and stuff, but I love that the director and music director, before auditioning me, had no idea who I was, had never seen my social media, like, are not on social. So I was like, I love that I was able to book this role based off of merit alone and talent alone.
Yeah.
But to be able to work with Marriott, they have let me, once we were in rehearsals, I chatted with them to work with them on some branding and some video ideas. And so they've been really game for that. So some of it is stuff, you know, when you're working on a particular show, you try to run things by the social media teams, by management. But also a lot of the times it's what pops into my head. It's just like it's like second nature to me. Mm-hmm. And it's a part of my brain function at this point. It's like when I'm doing a show, especially, or working in a job, I have all these different angles, and I'll just think of all these different TikTok sounds or audios or, you know, things like that. And I think it's fun ways to market it because I've really seen that people gravitate towards being able to see the behind the scenes. They want to see they want to see this crazy quick change that you do, mm-hmm. or they want to see this crazy, the rehearsal footage, or the first time you hear the orchestra, or the first time you see your set. And like, I think people feeling like they're a tiny bit part of the process, that doesn't actually, it used to be that a lot of producers wouldn't want to show that. They just want you to see the product and see the finished version. But I think now people are open to, and social media has really helped producers and different theaters be open to seeing the process, and it does not dilute the product. In fact, it makes people more excited to see the finished product because they've seen a glimpse into it,
100%. And it also doesn't help that you are a crazy, talented human being. I do believe Chris Jones, the critic of the Chicago Tribune, referred to you as rising Broadway star. So come on now. That's great. And right now,
I'll take it.
Well, and you can catch a rising Broadway star when you go see Catch Me If You Can at the Marriott Theater. It runs through October 19th. For more information and for tickets, go to MarriottTheater.com, and that's theater with an R-E because they're fancy that way. And speaking of fancy that way, JJ Neiman, thank you so much for joining us today. Break legs, have a fantastic matinee, and enjoy the rest of the run.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm so excited to see everyone listening at the show. If you can make it, please come see us. That's awesome.
There we go.
Thank you, JJ.
Catch JJ if you can. All right. JJ Neiman. We have got to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to be joined by comedian Jen Kober, who's coming back to Chicago. So stick around. You're listening to Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Hey, this is Mark Patton, and I'm from Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street, and you're listening to Out Chicago.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ella Miller, just rolling along.
We sure are.
Ellen was a little chilly during the break because she was doing calisthenics.
I was doing some exercises.
It was pretty amazing.
Trying to warm up.
I love it. I love it almost as much as I love our next guest. Comedian Jen Kober is coming back to Chicago with 2 shows at Zanies. One at Rosemont on October 1st, and then back in Old Town on October 2nd, and she's back with us right now. Jen Kober, how you doing, my friend?
Well, hi, y'all.
Hi, y'all.
How y'all doing?
Welcome back.
How's your mama and them?
They are.
How's mom and them?
Oh my gosh, we are so excited that you are coming back to Chicago to perform 2 shows at Zanies, one out in Rosemont and one in Old Town. What have you been up to these days? You've been busy.
Yeah. They make me go bring these jokes to the people instead of the people coming to me.
How dare they? How very dare they?
Yep.
It's so annoying. But yeah, I've been traveling all over. I actually just booked, like this morning, I heard from the promoter. I just booked a show in Alaska, which will have made my 50th state. I will now have performed in and traveled to all 50 states.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's about damn time, too.
I agree. Look, it took me a long time to get up to Alaska. It's cold up there.
It is cold.
It is cold.
Are you in
there.
Louisiana right now?
I am. I'm in Baton Rouge.
Yep. All right. I know that's kind of home base for you and everything. Speaking of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, how are things going down there these days?
Listen, I was just about to ask y'all. All we hear is that Chicago is occupied.
I know, right?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on anywhere. We seem to be okay down here. Same rednecks doing the same stuff.
That's why you're okay.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. I said, look, all the gay people need to make friends with the redneck because that's who has the guns.
Yeah.
We're going to need somebody. And then, of course, down here you say that, and then, the nelliest little boy will be like, I have a Glock.
Right.
Okay.
Apparently.
We've got we're not completely occupied, but we do have the ICE agents here that are really creating havoc in certain neighborhoods, going to Home Depots and arresting workers that are there to, either
sell tamales.
Sell tamales. Sometimes people hang out to get picked up by contractors for work. I mean, they're all there to work.
I know. Every time I have anything that needs to be done, I go hit the Home Depot.
Right. It's sad and it's unnecessary, but we're trying to do the best we can. And
look, that is why I'm really I had to leave Los Angeles because I
the minute that happens near me or in front of me, I'm going to jail. I'm going to attack somebody. Like, I don't have that in me to watch that happen to another human being. So I'm just very glad it hasn't happened anywhere near me because, I don't think it's making it down here yet. Luckily, we get everything 3 years later. So I'm hoping he'll just be,
in this case, it's a good
be
thing.
out of office by the time it even hits over here.
I hope so. Yeah, protesters have been, and someone was describing it was a lot of young people that were out there last night, but near a ICE detention center. But the young people are out there. They are taking the brunt of it. Tear gas, getting, all kinds of crazy stuff. But anyway, that's why we need you here. That's why we need you to make us laugh, Jen.
That's exactly right, because I will tell you what happens at my show.
Tell us.
For 90 minutes, you forget that chaos, and you focus in on just I love live performance because that's what you're getting is what's happening in that room. You know what I mean? Like you are in a room with all different kinds of people that believe all different kinds of things. I say what I want to say, but I don't say it in a way that's going to at all be divisive. I'm not really saying anything terribly political. I mean, clearly you take one look at me and you know where my beliefs fall. you know which side my biscuit's buttered on. But again, I had a lady come up to me. I did a show in Charleston, and she came up to me and she goes, "I'm a gay Republican," and I laughed when she said that.
Good. That's what she deserves.
Yeah. And she goes, "No, really, I am." And I go, "Oh, well." I go, I want you to know you can be a Republican and not support this particular fella.
Right.
And she goes, yeah, he is doing some weird stuff, huh? And I was like, oh my God. We're all going to die. Yeah. We're all going to die. So, for 90 minutes. But what she said to me was, I thought it was lovely the way you made fun of everyone, and I didn't feel weird in a room of, which I'm sure mostly leaned left, but it was, so that's the point. To me, I want you to forget all the chaos of 2025 and just come laugh. Yeah. That's all going to be waiting for us. As soon as they open those doors back up, or as soon as your phone starts dinging when the show is over, we're all going to be right back in it. But to be able to forget it for just an amount of time and to feel joy and to feel connected to an entire room of people that you don't know, that's what I want to, that's all I can do.
It's a gift that you're giving us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. And I enjoy giving it, and it really is very cathartic and helpful to me too.
I'm
but
sure.
It's we've got to start connecting with each other in that way, and to do it through laughter is, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Which they really understand.
Yeah, that is one of the best things, like you were saying about any live performance, but especially comedy, because you're just so gosh darn likable. Like the minute you walk on stage, it's like, oh, okay, talk to me, lesbian, and between the Southern gift of storytelling and being able to find the funny in these weird times, it really is a special gift that you have, and stand up in particular, you are, and live when you're out at Zany's Rosemont or you're at Zany's Old Town on October 1st and 2nd, you are actually a part of a conversation. It's going to be a one-sided conversation, so don't get too comfy to talk back.
Sometimes they do.
I know.
And that's okay too. I had a fellow the other day. He was at the back of the showroom, and I had done such a great show, and it was right there at the end, and he started screaming something from the back. And I'm like, oh no, don't do this. I don't want it to end this way. So I tried to talk louder. I tried to talk over him. And I was like, oh God, what's happening right now? And he's screaming, and finally, at this point in the world of history, you don't know what's going to happen to you, what somebody's going to say, what somebody's going to do. So it just kind of geared up to be attacked. But I just finally said, sir, what is it that you want to say that cannot wait, that you need to interrupt my show for? And he goes, we're about to close the concession stand. Did you want a taco?
Oh my God.
I thought I was about to be killed and attacked, and this guy, right? Oh, God. I was like, I am a fat person. I don't need a shock to the ticker like that, sir. I need you to identify yourself as the taco truck man when you walk in.
Right. Bringing us together one street food at a time. That's what it's all about.
So, has there ever been a performance recently, Jen, that's been particularly memorable for you, whether it was a triumph or a challenge with someone that really was heckling you, or something that you really feel that you came out and said, wow, I made a difference?
Well, I did a show, and one of my teachers was at the show, a lady who was my teacher probably in 7th or 8th grade. And when I do a little thing with, where I answer questions at the end, and she stands up and introduces herself as my 7th grade English teacher. And I was like, oh my God, how are you still alive? And she stood up and she said to everyone, she was like, I knew this was going to happen. I knew that you were going to take this energy that was so hard to harness in a classroom. God bless this poor woman for even putting up with me. But she said, I just knew that you were going to do this, that you were going to take that joy and that energy and that happiness and bring it to other people in this way. I saw this for you. I knew this was going to happen. And I was like, well, you could have said something. Right. All those detentions did not feel like you knew something good was coming.
Jen, yeah, it sounds like you and I had a very similar 7th grade, especially the detention part, but we can talk about that later. It all worked out, though. I mean, you got to question authority, right?
Well, you know what it is? You got to make your mess your message. If that's what you're good at, that's what you got to go follow and do. I can only do what I can do, right? I can wish that I could do other, but that's all that is. And so to kind of harness in what it is you can actually do and what you're good at and how you're going to contribute to this giant crazy circus we got going on, to me, that's the gift, is that I knew very early on what it was I was good at. Yeah. And I didn't really stray too far from it. Yeah. I didn't have a lot of real jobs in the world. I did this. I started doing stand-up when I was 16 years old.
Wow.
So yeah,
you were born to do this. That's fantastic.
I just don't have any other skills.
Girl, make your mess your message. I love that. That is fantastic.
It's not mine. It's that Robin lady from Good Morning America.
Oh, okay.
Today's Show or whatever. I think that's the name of her book, Make Your Mess Your Message. But the minute I heard it, I was like, and stolen. I love that.
This is mine.
Mm-hmm. But it's true. It's just taking whatever your situation is and figuring out how to turn that into what you're going to do with the world, and that and the truth is you're probably already doing it and you don't even realize you're doing it.
Right.
So it's just the way the goal I have to have is to keep on keeping on and keep trying to bring light in what seemed to be getting darker and darker.
Yeah. Well, it also it's really important too that you keep that that message at the fore, because it also helps you remain true to yourself, and that is the thing that is so important with comedy, is that there is truth in it. There's a reason why this entire room of strangers find this all funny, because it's true, because this nugget or this idea, and that seems a lot of like what we've that's been in the conversation going on, the past couple of weeks with Jimmy Kimmel and like Stephen Colbert.
Did something happen with Jimmy Kimmel?
He actually he hit his head and he took a nap for about a week, and he's much better now.
Somebody asked me at my show, what do you think of the Kimmel controversy? I was like, I'm not going to say that out loud.
Right.
Are you dumb? Like, do you need a helmet? Are you new?
Right.
No.
But it does bring up a point, Jen. What would you tell aspiring comedians today in knowing what we're dealing with free speech and everything else? What would you encourage them to get into it?
I mean, look, if anyone at any time in my career, if anyone told me they wanted to do stand-up comedy, I was like, you need to make sure that there is nothing else on this earth you could do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like, I might want to try stand-up comedy, but my passion is being a chef, go be a chef. Don't be the funniest chef you've ever been. Mm-hmm. Go be a dentist. If it's in you at all to do anything else, I would encourage that. If all you can do and think about and really get excited about is stand-up comedy, then that's the only reason to get into it. It really is.
I do understand. I dated a stand-up comic for 5 years.
Why? I'm so sorry.
I know.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Well, thank you. We're still friends, but you know what, Jen? There is no tougher job in entertainment, in my opinion, than stand-up comedy, particularly for women, because they go from town to town by themselves. They get harassed. She'd be calling me. She'd be in a hotel room because the club was at the hotel, and there's guys pounding on her door, drunk guys that were at the show. I mean, driving all over the country by yourself and getting up on stage and facing God knows what. I have so much admiration for you, but there is no tougher job in show business than the one you do. So.
I appreciate that, and it's not easy, but again, I don't want to sit behind a desk, and I think teaching is the hardest job in this country.
Being a seventh grade teacher is the hardest job
in a school right now. Yeah, and with the added, why are we all? It's the truth is that whatever it is that you feel called to do, you got to go out and do it, and you got to do it in a way that is aggressive, right? Like you have to, that sort of, what is that, like radical acceptance? Like, that idea, like just that you go out and grab it all and get all that you want out of it, because, who knows what's coming next? I can't wait to see what happens in season 2 of this, documentary we're all part of.
Right.
Oh my God.
So in this documentary, I made a horrible. Metaphor and an analogy to me being like, I know it should be network where I'm like, I'm mad as hell and I'm just can't take it anymore. But no, instead I go to Kathy Bates in Misery, where she's like screaming at him, this isn't fair. Do you all have amnesia? He didn't get out of the cockadoodie car. Do you have a cockadoodie car moment that you're just kind of like looking around going, what is going on with you people?
Yeah, like every time I turn, I look at my phone. I mean, like when I saw that he was saying that he was an informant.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was special, wasn't it?
I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then when he also said that he was ready to release the files, but just that morning, Charlie Kirk said to him, if I should die today, don't release the Epstein file.
Yeah, that was another special
so
one.
So now he's honoring a dying man's wish. and he promised him, I will not do it.
Yeah.
When I read that, I was like, it's that. Do you remember that Muppet, Rolf the dog, who used to just bang his little head on the piano? It's that.
Yeah,
it is
that. It's like that. I can't anymore. I don't even know. I can't even imagine how any educated person could hear this.
I know.
Yeah,
I guess they're not hearing it. They're not paying attention. We're paying attention.
Well, they did a study. I was just talking to my buddy in Oslo, and he said they did a study where they brought in his supporters, and they used AI videos to show them just outlandish things. Him saying things like how attracted he was to his daughter. I mean, awful things, right? Mm-hmm. And they justified everything they heard.
That's what they're doing.
There was nothing, and they were just saying disgusting, awful, like terrible things, and they just didn't. Nothing saved it, and I was like,
okay, yeah.
Like, what do we do? I don't know. I don't even know how to. I do love that Gavin Newsom tweeted, "Real men take the stairs."
Yeah,
real men
take the stand.
Take the stand.
Take the stairs.
Yeah. Gavin Newsom, for all of his foibles, his social media game, chef's kiss.
Gosh,
like
look,
what?
I love it when a good-looking man starts fighting. I love that. That's right in my wheelhouse.
I love that. Well, hey, you are going to be doing your part of keeping up the fight by spreading joy, laughter, creating community, even if it's just for 90 minutes. We're all going to be in that room in the dark facing one direction and having a really good time when you go and you check out comedian Jen Kober on October 1st at Zany's Rosemont and October 2nd at Zany's Old Town. For tickets, go to zanys.com. And Jen, how can folks follow you on all the socials?
If you go to jenkober.com, JenKober, it's like sober, but with a K. Jenkober.com, you can find me on all of the things. And follow me and stalk me accordingly.
Yes,
you can also get tickets to the shows there. But you know what the important thing that you can do on that website is you can watch a video and vet me. I don't want you to put on real pants and leave your house if you don't think I'm going to be funny. So go check it out.
We know you're going to be funny.
I feel confident in my abilities, so go make sure that I'm funny enough to leave the house. And then get your tickets and come on out, because it's going to be a great show.
There you go. That's the caption for the poster. Jen Kober, funny enough to leave the house.
And put your pants
on. Jen Kober, thank you so much for joining us today. Break all the legs and keep spreading joy. Keep spreading joy. That's your superpower.
All the best.
Thanks for all you're doing up there. Keep fighting the good fight. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
We have got to take a quick break, and when we come back, it is the final thrilling show-stopping moments about Chicago right here on WCPT.
I'm proud to be Out Chicago, and you should be proud to be listening to Out Chicago on Chicago's Progressive Talk.
Welcome back to Out Chicago with Scott Duff and Ellen Miller. Just jibber-jabbering about anything. I sure do love Jen Kober.
I do, too. I wish I could go see her. I'm all busy.
Of course you are.
Darn it.
I know. I'm going to be out of town at this wedding.
Yeah.
This wedding is like, oof.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be lovely and wonderful.
And say
but
what a wonderful
it's going to be wonderful. I'm super excited to be heading to Portland just the same time as...
You know what? Maybe you can write it off because you're going as a cub reporter.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. I'll be cub reporter out there on the streets.
Man on the street. Gay on the streets.
Gay on the streets right over there.
That's what we need.
There, yeah. Yes. Speaking of gay on the streets, but not in the sheets, maybe. It seems like Tucker Carlson has been questioning Pete Buttigieg's sexuality for a while, and he wants to ask him, quote, very specific questions about gay sex, unquote.
What is that about?
Because they think that they just think that he's not gay, and that he was just using it as a thing to, get the libs on his side or whatever. The former Secretary of Transportation's response, it's great. It was like, I suppose it's a sign of progress that their idea of a conspiracy is that I'm actually secretly straight. It's so strange.
It's stranger than fiction right now.
It is stranger than fiction right now. Let's keep in mind that, again, he's married to a man.
They have children.
They have children together. They live in Michigan. It's lovely. He's gay. Come on, Tucker. And that's the other thing too. Folks are always just so nosy or preoccupied about what they think we may or may not do in the bedroom. It's like, do you spend that time with everybody? Think about that with everybody that you run into?
Maybe they do.
Maybe they do. All I know is that whenever you get a lot of Republicans together, whether it be for a convention or a memorial or whatever, they all crash Grindr.
They do. And
every time.
I heard one of the things I heard this week that just remembered that Trump threatened to out all the gay Republicans if they pressed him.
What?
If he pressed them to release the Epstein something.
This is the part that is just so infuriating. Like, everything is motivated by petty grievance. This man is the most thin-skinned human being on the. I should not say human being.
No,
because I don't know what he is. Right there, a little slug trail going on. But like anytime, I'm telling you, the reason why we are in this mess right now is because Barack Obama made fun of him at the 2012 press thing. The correspondence dinner. That's what it is.
He is so thin-skinned. He is just ridiculous. I mean, and like I've said before, have you ever seen him really laugh? Other than like an evil, cruel laugh at the expense of somebody?
Yeah.
Never. He is just textbook crazy, narcissistic nutball.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And yet people voted for him.
They just, I don't know what they see in him.
Again, it's like the Southern strategy that they've done. It's like, because the radical left is taking over everything, and they are being elitish, and they like to be smart, and they're smarter than you. But what they do is he offers them up cruelty and like all that stuff. We say this. I've said this a lot on the show, which is why I try not to just bitch and moan about things, because yes, that feels nice, but it doesn't do anything. It does not fix anything unless you are able to really sit down and like, okay, what is this problem? Let's try to fix it within our community or within how you can. But all they have now is like, they are just mad. They like being mad. They want to stay mad. I don't know why they're so mad, but they're mad. And they're angry, and I don't get it. I don't know why. They have all three branches of government.
Not enough.
Like, so it's not enough. They want to make people suffer. Like, that is, for some reason, that we've gone into become this culture of retribution and revenge. It's, you are not happy unless somebody else is miserable.
And the grift. The grift that this family.
That's the other thing, too.
Oh, my God.
How do you not realize that they are just making money off of you?
The whole family.
Hand over fist. That is why I think I'm relating to Kathy Bates in Misery, who is somebody who is a little unhinged, because it's just like, wait.
I mean, they're getting rich and you're getting poor. Is that what you wanted? Is that what you voted for? Is that what you thought, that your good friend who cares so much about you and, your grocery prices and all the lies that he told, ending wars? It's just all a bunch of smoke and mirrors. Yep. And hooey too.
And it's crazy. And everything that Kamala Harris said on the campaign trail is basically coming true. And I only bring up Vice President Harris again because she kind of broke her silence. She did her first major interview this past week with Rachel Maddow. She's promoting her book 107 Days. And did you watch any of
No,
that?
I didn't see it.
It's great. And actually you can listen to like a podcast. And actually we're on a podcast too. So if you want to go wherever you get podcasts, go to Get Out Chicago. And actually there's whole shows and featured interviews. So you
relive
the memories, relive it. But this might be something I just think was really interesting for folks to listen to, because she She was great. It was very sad to listen to. Of course, like, ugh, I could have someone like this.
She threw her boss under the bus a little bit.
She did throw her boss under the bus, but she also kind of threw herself under the bus. She was talking about ego and about, the ways. Hindsight is always 20/20, and they were talking about the 107 days is about the length of her campaign, and what they achieved in 107 days. She did kind of throw Joe Biden under the bus, and because everybody was all like, if he's going to do it, we're just all right, we're going to go in for it. They should have said something earlier, which they didn't. And when it came time to accept the nomination, as opposed to going through some sort of primary, even if it was just a short one,
I know
that would have maybe unified our party just a little bit more. She also spoke very candidly about her choice of a running mate, and she made it clear that Pete Buttigieg was her first choice, but she said that she couldn't do it because there's no way that a black woman and a gay man at the top of the ticket would win.
And that was the ticket I wanted to see as well.
It was the 100%.
But we also, even as gay people, feel that we wanted our best chance to win, and we worried that, and obviously they wouldn't even go for a black woman and a straight white guy. So we saw that this country not ready for anything other than a white male at this point.
Yeah, it's true. And after she said that statement, social media and like the right went crazy. Like, she's homophobic. The first time that they've ever worried about somebody being homophobic on the planet.
Ain't that the truth?
But like you said, she was right. Because there is a need to create a boogeyman. And in this past election, it was the LGBTQ community, particularly trans folks, and it was immigrants, because apparently they're going to eat your pets.
Yeah, they're going to eat your pets.
They're going to eat your pets.
They're running rampant. Horrible, horrible. The worst of the worst.
I'm running horrible.
Trying to get a job at Home Depot.
Yeah, so let's get that tamale lady. What's going on? Let's do it. But, she's right. We were not in a place. And I don't know. I don't know. We'll
I'm blaming.
We'll see.
I'm going to blame white men. Sorry, I have to. I have to blame them because, and some black men and some brown men, because I talked to several of them that just didn't vote. They couldn't bring themselves to vote for a woman of color. She was a woman, number one. She was a woman of color. Both of those things. It's so sad to me that they still think that apparently seemingly macho nutball who cares not for them is a more appealing choice than a woman that foretold everything that's happening right now.
Again, hindsight is 20/20, but it's it was very, I don't know. It was a mixed bag listening to that interview.
It brings up a lot of PTSD about what we're dealing with. I know right now.
Yeah.
But what we can do is October 18th, no King's Day. Keep talking to people gently. Ask them to look at other news sources. Try to open their eyes to what's really going on with the person that they thought was going to be the best choice as a leader and the regime. And I think some of them are seeing it. I don't know if it's enough, but people are seeing it. I mean,
yeah, I don't know, but so many people turn a blind eye.
Well, they do.
They
don't want to admit they were wrong.
I have a friend who is a very dear friend that is a Trump supporter. And I don't like hanging out with this person. No. I don't like being there because it is just dangling in the middle. It's like, and I don't know how to tell my friend that I don't want to be around them. Like,
well, you can be honest, or you can just you can just ghost them. Obviously, those are your two options.
Right, but it's like, but what if one of those options is like, it's like, hi, we're celebrating a birthday or something. We're celebrating a big life event, and this person's going to be there, and it's going to be a very small group. What do you do? Like, I don't know how to, like, and she never doesn't want to talk about it. And I'm like, okay, well, we have to have, like I said, we have to have these conversations.
Yes.
But if we don't want to, if you don't want to, it's not, I can't also, like, it is not the time and a place to be at this celebration for me to be like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Especially when it's like people who are like, have like trans kids. It's like, if you said that you love this family so much, why did you knowingly vote to put these people's lives at risk?
How do you reconcile that?
That's the thing. And so that's where I'm trying. For your
taxes, you think you're going to make money? You're going to save money? Because I don't give a darn how much money you have. If your rights are taken away, the money won't buy them for you. It just won't.
Yeah, well, she's not worried about her rights being taken away. She's very fine with other rights being taken away, and
other people's.
Yeah, and that is the thing about fascism, that it's if they're doing it to this group, they're going to do it to you eventually. It's going to come around, Yes. That is the biggest thing. So in the meantime, we need to try to keep moving forward. We need to be having conversations. I'm looking forward to actually having a big conversation with my friend, to be like, I cannot be around this person because this person wants she may not say it directly, but her actions, because don't listen to what they say, watch what they do.
That's right.
Watch their actions. And because of what they're doing, you're saying that I don't believe your family should exist, or that your family should have rights.
And how should they expect you to accept that?
Yeah. And it's really hard to be around that. Mm-hmm. So, but we also, again, like I said, we need to be engaging in our community. Some great things that are happening here in Chicago. If your older person sends out a weekly email, a bulletin, a letter, read it, because half the time most of the time there's a ton of really great resources. And again, it's a way for you to take action, as opposed to just kind of scrolling through stuff all the time and just feeling sad and depressed. Also, put your phone down. Go outside.
Take a break.
Go outside. It's good for your eyeballs. Looking at green things is good. If you can find a green space, or even just
take a walk.
But stop living your life down into the palm of your hand, and start looking up and out. Because once you start looking up and out, you realize that we all want the same things. We all want to have good health care. Yeah. We all want to live in a place that is not a food desert. And I know you want to, and we all want to plug something.
We're going to plug something.
And we've got to do that.
I'm performing at the Little Walter Foundation annual fundraising showcase. All the proceeds go to Breathe for Life Through Music program. So they have all harmonica players, because Little Walter was a famous harmonica player. His daughter, Marion, puts this together. Last year I did this event. It's in Lansing. If you're down south or in Indiana, it's not that far a drive, but tickets are only $20. Billy Branch, myself, and Corky Siegel, my first inspiration as a harmonica player when I was a kid, and so many others. So it's in Lansing. It's at Casey's Banquet Hall. It's the Little Walter Foundation. You can Google Little Walter Foundation and find out how to get tickets. Are only $20 next Sunday.
There you go. All righty, my friend. And that brings us to the end of another Out Chicago. I want to thank all of our guests, John Parker and Jim Pounds. Make sure you listen to The Gailey Show right here on WCPT, weekdays at 5 a.m. Also, thank you, JJ Neiman and Jen Kober. Devin, you are amazing as always.
Thank you,
Matt, thank you so much for running things in the back over there. Ellen Miller, always a pleasure to see you.
And
I'm Scott Duff, and until next week,
stay proud.